In this video, we're going to discuss about the sandwich theorem or squeeze theorem. Let A be a subset of R and let f, g, h be the functions from A to R, and let C be any real number. If the value of f of x is less than or equal to the value of g of x, less than or equal to h of x for all x element of A, such that x must not be equal to c, and if the limit of f of x is the same as the limit of h of x as x approaches c, and let's say that is L, then the limit of g of x as x approaches c is equal to L. So for illustration, so para ma-imagine natin yung sandwich theorem, kaya siya tinawag na sandwich. So according sa given, yung f of x daw yung pinakamababa. Let's say ito yung ating f of x. Tapos ito yung h of x natin. Okay? Then, kung ang f of x natin ay nag-a-approach sa L, so let's say ito yung L, tapos yung h of x natin nag-a-approach din siya sa L, so yung limit daw ng f of x tsaka h of x parehong L, so dun pareho nag-a-approach. So let's say yan function. Then yung g of x daw, which is nasa pagitan ng f of x tsaka h of x, automatic yan mag-a-approach din sa L. So kahit anong function yan. Okay, so yun yung sinasabi nung sandwich. Kaya siya tinawag na sandwich. So meron na sa taas, meron na sa baba. So hindi siya makakaalis doon. So automatic doon na rin siya mag-a-approach sa L. Okay, so let's prove this theorem. So for our proof, okay, so given positive epsilon, by definition of limit, may mag-e-exist tayong arbitrary values, let's say delta 1 and delta 2 greater than 0, such that 0 less than absolute value of x minus c less than delta 1 implies f of x minus L less than epsilon by definition of limit. And then sa kabilang side, 0 less than absolute value of x minus c less than delta 2 implies absolute value of h of x minus L is less than epsilon. Okay? Then, next, so yung absolute value na yan, by property of absolute value. Okay? So itong absolute value of f of x minus L less than epsilon. Ang ibig sabihin yan, by property, this implies negative epsilon less than f of x minus L less than epsilon. Okay? And then kung mag-add tayo both sides ng L, so magiging L minus epsilon less than f of x less than L plus epsilon. Okay? So similar case dito sa h of x. So sa h of x minus L less than epsilon, this will imply, so dito ganito rin yung mangyayari sa kanya. So L minus epsilon less than h of x less than L plus epsilon. Okay. So kunin natin yung minimum ng delta 1. So let's define delta to be the minimum ng delta 1, delta 2 So para kapag delta yung ginamit natin, swak pa rin siya sa definition, magagamit natin yung parehong conclusion. Okay? Then, by definition of limit, 0 less than x minus c less than delta implies L minus epsilon. So, gagamitin natin to. Imbis na ito yung isusulat natin, ito yung gagamitin natin. Okay, so L minus epsilon is less than f of x. Right? So, according dito, yung L minus epsilon less than f of x. Kasi ito implies ito. And ito naman, pwede nating isulat as ganito. So, L minus epsilon less than f of x. And take note, according sa ating definition, yung f of x daw ay less than or equal to g of x. Less than or equal to g of x. And yung g of x ay less than or equal to h of x. Okay? And yung h of x daw ay less than L plus epsilon. Okay. So as you can see, this implies L minus epsilon less than g of x, yun nasa gitna. And that g of x is less than L plus epsilon. And gamitin ulit natin, balik natin property of absolute value. So that means yung g of x minus L less than epsilon. Okay? So, na-prove na natin na yung limit ng g of x as x approaches c is L. Now, paano natin i-apply yung sandwich theorem? So, for example, let's say, let's show limit of x raised to 3 over 2 as x approaches 0 is 0, where x is greater than 0, using sandwich theorem. Okay? So now let's show this limit. So consider x, so that x is always less than or equal to x raised to 1/2, and that is less than or equal to 1. Okay? So paano nangyari yun? So kasi, yung x natin dito, take note, ang pinag-uusapan nating values ng x ay positive. So malamang, yung value ng square root of x na less than 1, less than or equal to 1, or let's say, doon tayo sa less than 1. So kapag pinag-uusapan natin yung less than 1, that is a fraction. Okay? At kapag fraction ng pinag-uusapan, mas mataas ang naka-square root kaysa dun sa root. Or kahit imagine niyo na lang na yung root sa fraction kapag in-square mo, mas lumiliit. Okay? Kaya itong x raised to 1/2, kapag in-square mo, which is x, mas maliit siya. Okay? So bakit ito yung pinag-uusapan natin? Kasi pinag-uusapan natin yung values ng x ay nag-a-approach sa 0. So doon na tayo pumunta sa mga values na malapit sa 0. And those values ay yung mga less than or equal to 1. Okay, so this is for positive x and less than or equal to 1. Kasi pag greater than 1 na yan, so hindi na true to. Okay, so let's say 2. So, mas maliit yung square root of 2 kaysa sa 2. But, kapag etong pinag-uusapan, mga fractions, so yung square root, mas mataas doon sa root. Okay? Now, i-square natin both sides to. i-multiply natin both sides by x. So multiply natin both sides by x. So this implies x squared less than or equal to eto, multiply natin sa x. So magiging 3 halves yan. And eto magiging x. 1 times x. Okay. Now, para saan yan? Kung kukunin natin yung limit ng x squared as x approaches 0, that is 0. Okay? And yung limit ng x as x approaches 0, that is also 0. So, kinuha natin yun dito sa pinakamababa at saka sa pinakamataas. Now, as you can see, yung limit ng pinakamababa at saka pinakamataas parehong 0. So, malamang yung gitna by sandwich theorem, yung limit ng x raised to 3 over 2 as x approaches 0 is also 0. Okay, so let's have another example. Number 2. So show limit of sine x as x approaches 0 is 0 using sandwich theorem. Okay. So bago tayo magpunta dun sa sa proof natin, so take note lang. So from trigonometry, so I hope alam nyo na yung absolute value of sine x, that is always less than or equal to x. Absolute value of x. Or x na lang. Okay? And that means yung negative x ay less than or equal to sine x less than or equal to x by property of absolute value. Okay? Now, take note that since yung limit ng x as x approaches 0 or limit of negative x as x approaches 0 is 0, and also yung limit of x as x approaches 0 is also 0. So again, by sandwich theorem, yung limit ng sine x as x approaches 0 will be 0.